Hey, everybody, and welcome to Just Another Nerdy Podcast. I'm Jay. Today we're going to be interviewing Mills. He's a streamer. He's focused on sports, focused on scares, stuff like that. He'll explain a little bit more what he's into today. But just in case you guys are curious, Just Another Nerdy Podcast is where three hosts get together and we just talk nerdy stuff. We talk the nerdy news for the week, games and movies we've been experiencing for the week and stuff like that. Just anything our nerdy selves can talk about, but we're live every Wednesday at noon Central. You can also listen to us every Monday. We do a Twitch highlight stream where we interview streamers just like Mills and we get to know them a little bit. You can find us on twitch.tv/ just another nerdy podcast. You can also go over to YouTube, check us out there. If you're watching us live, you can actually, there's buttons down below. Just click the picture anywhere you want to go, it'll take you there. We're on iTunes and Google Play. If you so you don't have enough time to just sit down and watch us, you can actually just download us and put a little nerdy into your pocket. Do a little listen, kind of see what you like and stuff. So you can check us out on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and Castbox. So we're on all those platforms if you want to check us out. Again, pictures down below, you can click them. If you're watching a YouTube video, you can actually just click the description down below. We'll have all the links down there. So yeah, that's our big spiel. But let's get into the big important stuff. Mills, how you doing?
I'm doing awesome. It's Monday, as you probably hear this. It's start of the work week and just trying to get back in track. I was a little sick for a little while and getting back into the whole, job and then also streaming. I actually full-time job plus I stream somewhere between 20 to 35 hours a week. So it is
Oh,
a nonstop for me.
that is, yeah, that's a lot there. That's quite a bit. Yeah, I do a full-time job and I just stream a little bit a week, so I wouldn't put myself up to that bracket. That's awesome. That means you're committed. That's what I would say. So,
Committed meaning one of very many things in this case, but yeah, I would say committed is a good idea.
yeah. All right, so Mills, let's get to know you a little bit. What do you like? What do you think if people were to describe you in your streaming style? What do you think they would say?
Laid back, a little bit of a comedian. I've started recently. Every one of my streams starts in just chatting for a good 10 to 15 minutes of just, bonding with the audience, with the community. I have a tendency to make it community first. So no matter what's going on, no matter what game is being played on the channel, it's my focus is the integration and the communication between the chat and myself.
Okay.
That is why that's what my whole stream has always been about. Even though we started with sports, um, no matter at least it's always been chat first. Let's have a little fun with everybody. Be yourself when you come into the chat. That's the kind of community I like to run.
Nice. I noticed reading up on sort of your like social descriptions and stuff like that. You talk about it being like a positive stream, which is awesome. What do you think, like what elements of your stream do you feel like emulate that the most?
So what I try to do is when I'm having a game, I believe in when I have a game on my stream, I believe in having fun with it, finding the fun in games. Because especially with the way social media is these days, it's way too easy to fall into that trap of the one or two negative things you can find and really harp on it. I try to accept those as much as possible. And it's, I'm like any other gamer. I rage like any other gamer does sometimes when I'm playing. But for the most part, when I'm playing a game, I'm enjoying it. If I'm not enjoying a game, I don't play it. Um, I'm not and I used to do that. When I streamed early on, I used to really push myself through games because that's what people knew me for were specific games. But then I said to myself is that I'm not doing right by my community by putting games on my channel that I don't believe in or that I don't believe are worth my community's time. So the positivity came from that. Positivity is enjoy the games you're playing. There are too many out there not to enjoy them. And overall, just in like social media in general, I like to try to leave every place that I've been a little better than when I arrived. And that's something I've had a little later in life. It hasn't always been this way. So a little later in life, I kind of picked that up. It was like if I go somewhere, if I travel somewhere, even especially if I travel somewhere, don't like destroy the place, don't vandalize, don't do all these terrible things you see on the news. No, try to leave it a little better. Maybe you tip a waitress a little more, or maybe you have a conversation with somebody who just looks like he wants to have a conversation. Or if you're on Twitter, maybe you put out like a good vibe on Twitter and just eat. One of the best interactions I have is the mornings that I wake up and decide to put like a good morning gif up, and it normally turns into some kind of weird long thread of just funny. And I think that's lost a lot on social media these days.
That's super awesome. One of the things I can kind of relate to that a little bit. Like one of the purposes that I kind of found behind this podcast was I just wanted, because everything's a little, I would say a little bit toxic lately in the world, and it's just kind of nice to have just the thing that everyone agrees on, like that everyone's excited about the next Avengers movie or the next Pokemon game coming out and stuff like that. So I dig your philosophy. I really enjoy that. That's like, so it seems like that's like a big life philosophy for you, like an uh all around thing. That's really cool.
It is, and the
Um,
one thing you bring up the word toxic, and I just want to comment on that because toxic is one of those words that has become a buzzword these days, and I use it too. So the one thing that I will say is those toxic people. One of the things I try to do because the with the companies that I'm either partnered with or I help with, one of my specialties is community engagement. I try to make sure that if those people are toxic and it's not like a consistent thing, like I just see one bit of anger comes from somebody, that those people understand their voices are important as well. Because a lot of times the positive people ignore the toxic people because they don't want them in their life. That's not always the way to handle it. I'm not saying that positive people should force themselves onto toxic people, but sometimes toxic people are positive people that just don't know how to voice their opinion. And
so
that's
how
one of the things that I pride myself on.
so how do you go about tackling that? Like, say someone toxic comes into your stream, how do you go about trying to sort of convert a positive experience out of it?
Well, the first thing I try to do is I try to treat them like any other streamer or like any other viewer. It's just, hey, what's going on? Is there something I can help you with? The other thing is too that you're going to have people that come in that are there for attention. Let's be fair. There are a lot of people on the internet. Not everybody can stream. A lot of viewers think that they can come into streams and that's their thing. I can get a streamer to say my name and that's all they want and they'll leave. So, but treat them like any other viewer. Don't take all of your time out to get to them, but like make sure they know that they're heard. Like, hey, what's going on? So and so. What's Are you here to talk about like Madden if I'm playing Madden? Are you here to, are you here to discuss something? If they come in and it's just, F this, F that, it's probably a timeout. The first thing I do is timeout. I don't always immediately ban unless you get too far, but I think it's important to give everybody one chance and be like, "Hey, what's going on? Like, you want your voice heard? This is your chance." And I think a lot of what I get from my stream is my reputation that I've built over almost 2 decades in the sports gaming community of that guy that will get feedback. I tend to believe myself as like an ambassador between the companies that I'm partnered with and the community. So a lot of those guys that come in, even if they're angry, it's just I'm really angry. Hear what I'm saying. And so many times on like Twitter, it's I'm so angry. I'm talking to everybody, and you've got like 35 followers, and no one responds to you. But
That,
but when someone reaches out to you, you say, "Oh my God, somebody's listening. How can what can I do here?" Some people react differently. Some people come out and they're like, they get that person like, okay, everyone's listening to me. I'm gonna hit reply and show this joke what I am. But so many times, especially DMs, like DMs are the big secret weapon for community engagement because if you get people out of that public atmosphere, it's just them. It's you and them, and that's when you get some of the most productive conversations, even with anger tagged into it. So, and now I kind of rambled off a little bit off of the what happens if they come to your stream. Honestly, if they come into your stream, treat them like any other viewer, give them an opportunity. If they waste that opportunity, time them out. If you feel like you need to ban them, but don't take too much time on them because then you're not giving your community your attention as well.
Just, I mean, what I love about like that answer is the idea that you just like you kind of explain how to sort of make the world like make the place a little bit better that you just left. That philosophy you're talking about, you explain how to do that on Twitch, which is something I never would have had any idea of how to do. Uh, that's just awesome. Sorry, I just want to say that because I never would have even thought about that, like making the Twitch community a little bit better than you left it, giving people a positive experience even though they're coming in negative and stuff. So that's really really awesome. Um, so let's push a little bit. What? So you're known mostly for so you in your description it said you were known mostly for sports gaming and scares. What specifically would you mean by that?
So when I started, I worked for Operation Sports. I still have for close to 18 years. Operation Sports is a website that focuses on sports gaming, most notably the simulation side of sports gaming. Um, Using that part of my voice, I got into streaming with sports. So my channel, which was technically Operation Sports when it started, and then morphed over to Mills Gaming TV, and now is morphed to Mills, um, was built on sports games. Since then, I have branched more into variety. I would say probably in the last 6 to 9 months, I've been more heavy of you could easily call me a variety streamer. There are tons of different games from Pokemon to Smash Brothers recently, to Octopath Traveler, which is a heavy JRPG. I play all kinds of shooters now. I'm a Call of Duty fan. I play Battlefield on the regular. I'm actually going to get back into Fortnite because I feel like it deserves a chance with everything that Epic has done. Uh, Once Overwatch starts with their winter, I'm going to be playing some of that. So again, while my channel was built on the sports and the scares, so every Saturday night we have what we call Saturday scares. I think every streamer at this point has some kind of theme night for what they do. Mine is Saturday scares. Like we have really scary games because I have a tendency to get immersed in video games very easily. So scary video games with a late 30s guy on live come up with some interesting clips. Let's just go that way. Yeah, so sports being the main support of my channel at one point, was why that I probably should update that description a little bit more. But I still go back there, still play Madden every Sunday morning. We still play MLB the Show. We still try to play like we're gonna play out of the park baseball this week, with some of their new updates and stuff like that.
Okay, so let's talk about when you actually got into streaming on Twitch. Since you were discussing a little bit like you were working for Operation Sports and stuff. How like when did you first hear about Twitch and what made you decide to like jump in with all the other streamers?
So in 2016 was when I really started hearing about Twitch. I always watched YouTube channels, but I started going on Twitch because I saw some of my friends start linking it on Twitter. And I was like, what is this? This is so 2016, a little late to the game in terms of Twitch, like in terms of the OGs, but I said, okay, I think I can do this. I think this is a good idea for me. And I think this is a great way. Again, when I started Twitch, it wasn't to entertain. When I started Twitch, it was a way to grow my voice, to make what I knew I had as a strength and to overarch that to more than what I had already been able to touch. So I started streaming MLB The Show. No camera, straight from my PS4. There was no computer involved. I literally just turned the game on my PS4, hit stream, and started streaming to um, the then idle Operation Sports Twitch page. Started doing that for like 2 days a week for a few months. Madden came out. I had known some of the developers from Madden, started streaming Madden. Again, back and forth, MLB The Show, Madden, NBA 2K, golf games, like Golf Club was back then too. So a bunch of these different games just started popping up, and I started doing it more and more often. I was, 2 to 3 days, 3 to 4 days. So 3 to 4 days is what I did for the majority of my first year streaming from about 2016 to 2017. So that's where that started. But again, Operation Sports didn't have anyone running their Twitch channel, so I sort of assumed that. So some of my audience came from Operation Sports, some of it from an established Twitter page. I started networking around Twitch. The more I found, I started hanging out in different streams, which was extremely important to my growth. And that's kind of how I transitioned into Twitch as opposed to forums. That was my big jump from, like, being kind of a large voice on video game forums to moving over to, a live video, show.
Okay, 2 years is about when Amazon took over Twitch, right? I would
Right.
say. Yeah, so that's, I mean, you kind of jumped in at like a really good time too, because like I started, I realized the other day, it was about 4 years ago now. I started streaming, and you just basically had to be partner. There was no affiliate. There was no, like, all the cool stuff was very scarce for Twitch. You basically open up OBS for the first time and just have a panic attack because there's no description as to what there was. But it seems like you started a really good time. But like, what your transition from when you started? Because I know it seems like you've had about three steps where like you started as Operation Sports, then you turned into Mills Gaming TV, and now you're transitioning into Mills, which probably wouldn't be as dramatic of a switch, but um, and I watched the intro to I watched your you had a 6 minute video on your channel talking about the Operation Sports to Mills Gaming TV switchover and
Yes.
stuff. But you're so like over the years of transforming and stuff, like was that a hard process or was that an easy process? Um, like just kind of rebranding and changing things. How'd that go?
I think the biggest jump for me was, like you said, the Operation Sports to the Mills Gaming TV. Mills Gaming TV to Mills, which was recently, was just because I wanted to make sure that that's an evolution of the name. No one wants to keep walking around going Mills Gaming TV if I have the opportunity to just take Mills. Comes up with more search engines. It's easier to say. Like, it shows up better in chat. It's easier to remember. So that was the big part for that. But going from Operation Sports to Mills Gaming TV was one of the hardest things that I'd had to do in terms of my streaming career. I was partnered before the Amazon stuff. I was partnered when you had to get, 300 concurrent viewers for a month straight. There was no, like you said, there was no affiliate process. It was you had to go through the entire review process of your channel, not just, hey, you have to get, well, they still do the review process, but there was no guideline of, hey, here's your 75 viewers, here's your 30-day streaming, like all that stuff. It was, you have to get this big triple digit number and you better have a good niche, because if you don't, they don't want you. So I got partnered under the Operation Sports banner. So when my channel was still Operation Sports is when it was partnered. That had happened in 2017. We got partnered a year in. 2018 was when I changed the name in July of 2018, already partnered. And what I was essentially doing was saying, listen, guys, this is no longer Operation Sports' channel. Operation Sports did never streamed on it. It was always me. There was never there was an influence there because I technically worked for Operation Sports, but it was my project. It had become my baby, and switching it over away from that banner allowed me to separate and do what I wanted to do with the channel without having to worry about how it would reflect on Operation Sports. That also allowed me, again, to start branching into variety, which was already in my head. Sports is a very finite audience, especially sports video games. I have I have a ton of growth on sports, but there's only so many sports fans. There's only so many sports fans that cross reference to sports video games. Most sports fans cross reference into regular video games. So for my growth and for my own personal success, because my goal and still is to become a full-time streamer, moving away from Operation Sports and just becoming Mills Gaming TV and now Mills allows me to just be it allows the channel to be about Mills, not about the game that's on Mills's channel. I hate to do the third person thing, but
That's
hopefully that
all
comes
right.
across a little better. Yeah, it's not about Operation Sports. It's not about the sports games on the channel. It's about me and my community entertaining each other regardless of what we're playing.
Okay. So you it seems like you're branching into other styles of games and stuff. And you started, like you said, you started with sports and stuff. But what are some like highlights? What is some of your favorite stuff to stream? Like what was it like when you first started, and what today? How's that evolved? Like what type of gaming do you have the most fun doing?
For me, the most fun I have is playing shooters with friends. Playing like we played H1Z1 with a bunch of us for a while that we had like I think I have legitimately 10 clips that went trending in my own little group based off of that. I still have fun with sports games, but my most fun is I'll be to be quite honest, the most fun I have every stream is the 15 to 20 minutes we do just chatting. It's even though I love video games and we still have fun with the video games, that just chatting time is gives me so much opportunity to understand my audience and to be closer to them and let them connect with me. And I think that's incredibly important.
That's awesome. Uh, so so what did you what? Oh no, okay, you've already explained like what you started with. You started with like Madden. Do you have like a? This is interesting. So you've started off. I would assume your original niche um would be sports and scares. But like, what do you think you can define your niche as today?
My niche is me. This is
You.
going to sound completely crazy. My niche is not video games. My niche is me. My
Okay.
niche is people. When people come to my stream, yes, I think it's incredibly important. And what I'm doing right now is not something that I suggest for anyone to do at any point unless you have an established audience. My niche is not the game I'm playing. My niche is when people stop in, I make them laugh or I make them smile or my community welcomes them. My community is incredible for me. My community has has brought in viewer or kept viewers for me that I would have never thought. So my niche, while again, right now you could probably see again shooters, you could probably see like a Battlefield. You will see sports on the channel still. You will see RPGs on the channel. You will see indie games on the channel. I play indie games, new indie games constantly. But my niche is that there really is no niche except me. Like I'm entertaining people on a live channel. I don't even like upload to my YouTube at this point because I just don't feel that connection when I do it with YouTube. So my niche is that connection of me and my community.
That's cool. I get it. Oh, just for the record, Mills's beard is way more glorious now than than in this picture. Yeah,
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 they
no.
give me a thing. They give me a thing about my beard all the.
I went looking for your beard. Like I went like, oh, not for your beard. Sorry, I went looking for a picture of you. That's the hardest thing actually, is finding a good picture of a streamer. And then I found this one, which I actually really enjoy this picture right now because it seems like we're having a deep conversation, and you look like you're contemplating deep thoughts right now.
Well,
So
the best part about this picture is it's me sitting at a stoplight with the air conditioning blowing on my hair, so it would put it up into that epic look purposely, and that's why it's my Twitter picture. Yeah.
That's the best. I like the behind the scenes stuff. That's always up. Big Stupid 21. Hey, welcome. Also, you Bio Alexis, welcome as well. I don't know. You commented a while ago. What are Super Mario's pants made of? Well, if you hit follow, you will find out definitely. Um, sorry. Uh, she says denim, 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 denim. But yeah, really cool conversation technology wise, because one of my favorite things about Twitch is this idea that it's not just a performance. You're not just playing video games. You also have to really you have to learn a little bit about design, and you have to learn about broadcasting, which is my favorite thing about all of this, is just relearning everything. In fact, I bought a new headset this weekend, and it made me have to rethink everything again. Which is really really frustrating, but I finally got it all figured out. It reminded me of why I love Twitch so much. But like tech wise, so you said you started off with like a PS4 camera. Did you have to learn a lot of this, or did you already know a lot about sort of how Twitch would lay out? You know what I mean?
I knew about broadcasting software. I've done different pieces of broadcasting ever since college. I was a music performance major in college, so some of those things translated over. But when it comes to Twitch and like capture cards and like bit rate and what you can do and what you can't do and what people can see, like how much you can push the limits before people can't see them anymore, all of that had to be self-taught. And that is I will say that it's a labor of love for anyone involved in it. When you're just starting off, or if you're an affiliate, you absolutely have to know if you get transcoders on your stream on a normal basis or not. I see so many affiliates right now putting out at 6,000 bit rate because they want to be able to stream at 1080p and not realize that that knocks out 65% of their audience that cannot stream, or that cannot view at 6 megs down at a time. Um, Partners can. I stream currently at 8,000 bit rate, but I also get 5 transcoders every stream because I'm a partner that allows people to knock down automatically to the correct resolution. Affiliates get this thing in their head like, I want to make my stream look as well as good as possible. Well, the second you go over that 3,500, or it's 2,500 to 3,500, somewhere in there's a the sweet spot. The second you go over that, you have just limited your growth. So, and I think what people get a little too hung up on the technology sometimes too. I put this. It's funny you asked this because I put this up on Twitter the other day. Your personality, your content, and your engagement is the number one thing you should ever worry about on Twitch. After that, it should be your audio quality, because your audio quality will always trump your video quality. People are on Twitch, but if they can't hear you, or if there's some, and remember, most of Twitch users are using headphones. So if they hear a scratch, or if they hear a buzz, or if they hear a consistent like something going on, that will drive them away from your channel way before some kind of visual thing will. After that, it's video. After that, it's everything else. After that, it's what game you're playing. But no matter what, no matter how into tech you are, no matter how much you want to drive points home, and like I said, there are things you need to know, like the bitrate thing. If you do not have the personality and you do not have the content, it's not going to matter how good you look on the TV. So, technology is self-taught. I pride myself on my AV. I pride myself on the fact that I can stream at a high bit rate and make everything look good. I purposely went out and made sure I had a PS4 Pro and an Xbox One X. So when I stream console, they're excuse me, they're driving at the highest possible frame rate and the best looking that I can do. I don't run a webcam anymore. I've run a Panasonic Lumix G7 through an Elgato Cam Link because I wanted, when we were doing just chatting or we were doing some kind of full screen work, I wanted to have that connection. Like I have a custom lighting in the background and shelves with all kinds of stuff on it that I want people to see. That's part of me. That's part of a branch off. But all of that doesn't matter if I don't come on, look in the camera and go, "What's up, guys? It's Mills. What are you doing today?" Like if I don't turn on when that camera turns on, It does not matter.
Awesome. That's yeah. No, I personally just learned quite a bit there myself. Uh, so thank you again. Oh, let's see here. Amish guy. I have tons of content. People seem to like those that can flash the money equipment from what I've seen. I mean, yeah, you can wait. So Amish guy, are you saying you have the equipment or you don't? Um, anyway, and also, guys, I just want to say, like, if anybody wants to jump in and ask questions as well, feel free to drop a comment and stuff. This is just a way to get to know Mills better. By the way, Mills, actually, I told you when I was communicating with you, I the way that I found out about you was with Pink, Pink Smurf. I'd
Yes.
actually, yeah, I heard your voice on the other side while you guys were playing Fortnite, which feels like yesterday to me, but it seems like it might have been a while ago. Um, so that's really really cool. How much like how much work do you do working like how much effort do you put into working with other streamers and stuff like connecting and networking?
I hadn't before. When I was doing sports streaming, I could self-contain a lot of that. But more recently, I've definitely taken more time to network out. My networking is a little different, like because I didn't play a lot of multiplayer games. The multiplayer games I played was with my community. But what I did notice is that the more you are in other people's streams active, the more you are having conversations and being, a part of other communities, the more people that end up clicking your name and clicking follow or clicking your name and checking you out. It is extremely important to collaborate, especially when you're first starting off. It's important to have other people because if you have other streamers, that's that much more entertainment you have on your channel. But I will say this, you have to be very careful about who you collaborate with because the second you have somebody on your channel that does not mesh with you, your chat knows it immediately. And if your chat knows it, everybody knows it. You have to be very careful because I've had times on my channel before where I've been on stream with other streamers um of and it doesn't even really matter size wise. Doesn't matter size wise that I was not in having fun with. Like got to the point where like I tend to be a punching bag and I'm a self wounded punching bag. Like I bring that on. Self deprecation is one of the best forms of comedy as long as you can take it. The problem is that when other people see you do that, they immediately think that it's okay to take those same shots. And if you're not on that level with me, that doesn't work. So if you get into a stream with another streamer who thinks they know you or thinks they're cool with you like that, your stream immediately sees your mood turn. I tend to wear my emotions on my sleeve to an extent. And I remember very vividly a stream where I was sitting there for about an hour, sorry, muting every 2 minutes and going, my God, what are these people doing? Why are they talking about me? Do they think this is okay? Like looking at my chat, and I'm sitting with like, and again, this is not a number flex. Please don't take it that way. I'm sitting with like 150 people in my chat, like having fun with this, and watching this other streamer with like 10 people thinking that they were BMOC. And you just gotta realize you have to have some kind of self-awareness in those situations and I had to realize that's when I realized that I had to stop reaching out to everybody for collaboration and pick and choose who I wanted to be in there. But growing, growth is very important through collaboration because everyone you collaborate with means you get that person's community looking at you as well.
Awesome. So have you noticed a bit of an uptick since you've started focusing more on collaborating?
My uptick, well, I haven't the focus on collaboration with other people, like actually on the stream, hasn't started yet. I'm in the not being preliminary. This is about to happen probably 2 weeks, where I'm going to have more and more people on my stream or me on their stream. But what I have seen is, and I can go numbers wise. looking back at my growth. Every time I put a focus on either Twitter or Twitch, going into people's streams and being, "Hey, what's going on, guys? Like, how you doing?" And going to streams that have a little bit to do with me. So, like, if I'm playing a lot of Call of Duty, going to other Call of Duty streams, even if it's just like random streams, the more time you spend doing that, the more people that are going to check you out.
Okay. Awesome. So we've covered technology. We've covered kind of covered your niche and stuff. You've actually been giving like a ton of really good advice. I don't like this is really really awesome. We've talked a little bit about like your sort of your path to where you are. What was it like going from yeah, you skipped so you there was no affiliate and stuff. What was it like growing into partner? You said it took about a year?
Yeah, it took about a year. I was a little faster than I thought it was going to be. I think it's a little faster than some going to be, but because sports streaming was so new, like there was a lot of CS:GO and a lot of LOL. What was it? League, and there was another like MOBA game that was big back then. But like this wasn't the Fortnite. Like everybody was playing Fortnite or stuff like that. I was one of the early sports streamers. So when you went to sports, like you people would come to me. I'd always be in the upper side of the page for sports games. I'm still that way. Like when I stream sports games, I'm fortunate enough to have a community that comes out and says, "Oh, I know he's streaming sports games. I know he knows what he's talking about." Like that's the reputation I have. So building that first year was very, very quick. Um, The second year after I got partnered, again, still very quick. I'm still growing at a decent rate now. The thing is, though, is after that second year, when Twitch really blew up and everybody is saturating Twitch right now, it is probably as hard to grow on Twitch right now as it's ever been, especially for a new streamer, because everybody wants to do it. The problem is that everyone wants to do it for 2 months and they quit. But I noticed my numbers just slightly tilt from like a 45-degree angle to like a 30-degree. It was like, okay, I can sit back and not worry about this, or I can do what I always known I'm going to have to do, and that is move a little bit away from sports. And that means losing some dedicated subs or losing some dedicated followers that are there just for sports, and letting them know, like, hey guys, I appreciate it, but for the good of this channel, for the good of the entire community, I'm going to have to keep sports in there, but sports is now like 40% or like 5%, where everything else is coming in and allows me to branch out into other communities and other audiences and show them my talents as well.
Okay, what do you think so you're talking about sports back in the day was like sort of the anti Fortnite, like the thing that nobody else had pioneered at that time. Do you think there's another field out there right now that's similar, or do you think the saturation is just too much?
Hmm. I think saturation is extremely, extremely tough right now, no matter what it is. Because even the new indie games, you have big streamers that legitimately go indie, like throughout the day. And you're not talking about streamers that are doing 2-hour streams. You're talking about a guy like Admiral Baru, who's doing an indie game for 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, and literally taking 15,000 people that audience. Now, the good thing is, the more eyes he brings to that, the more eyes that are going to want to stay on it. So if like he plays Slay the Spire, right? He played it when it first came out. If you're a Slay the Spire fan and you're playing, if he's not live, or maybe those people will see Admiral Baru play it and go, "Oh wait, he doesn't. I can talk in his chat, but like might not get responded to. Let me go down to the next level and be like, hey, and that's the thing. Don't think it's not. There's a thing of people that want to be able to interact with the streamer. That's why it's important. It's extremely saturated, but the whole thing is, if you're going to stream, you have to realize that you need to be on the whole time. If you've got 0 people in your chat, you better be talking to an invisible person next to you, because when one person comes in and sees you dead faced looking at a stream with nothing going on, that person's leaving 2 seconds later. So, yes, it is extremely saturated. The next big thing, honestly, I think that the fact that they split IRL up really opens up an opportunity for people to connect with other people in a very specified way. One of those things is ASMR. If you ever go to the ASMR streams, like ASMR, there's a ton of partnered ASMR streamers that just do ASMR and then run reruns constantly. Like that is a huge thing for Twitch right now. And I know a lot of people look down on it, but the numbers don't lie. Like just chatting is a huge way on Twitch right now to be like, oh wow, there there's a ton of growth in just chatting. Um what's the other IRL that does a lot right now? I think it was like musical. If you have a musical talent, I think that is a big focus for Twitch. Twitch has a new program coming out called Twitch Sings, which is like their own karaoke, especially, oh, geez. You know what the next big thing is? The FTC coming in. And who survives that? Because Twitch Sings is going to survive it. But I think that's another big thing, too, is now that we're dealing with like Article 13 in Europe and like the FTC coming in. I think the next big thing over the next 2 years, honestly, in my opinion, is that the FTC is going to take away a lot of people that are streaming popular music. And I think popular music, I think a lot of channels lean on popular music during dead time. And that's not going to be there anymore.
Yeah,
And I think that's going to, yeah, again.
do you do you incorporate music into your stream at all?
The music that I have in my stream, I do my intro music now from now on is stuff that I can either verify is NCS non-copyright, or I have contacted the artist
Okay.
to verify. It wasn't that way normally when I was with the music that I have on my stream is literally just the first 5 minute intro. I don't do music in my stream. I feel like it's a little distracting at times from the streamer himself. But that all being said, it's not going to matter. At least I don't think it's going to matter soon anyway. Now there are some stream teams that have licenses with music, but I'm just really worried that because Twitch ain't going to be around forever. 10 years from now, we're not going to have Twitch, or we're not going to have what Twitch is right now. Like Twitch is experiencing crazy growth right now. If you look back 10 years from now, Twitch wasn't like that. There was no Twitch. There's going to be something else. And people are going to have to realize that we're going to have to continue evolving for this. I think music is the next big thing that breaks a lot of streamers on Twitch. And that again, that's personal feeling, personal opinion on this, but a lot of people that sorry, a lot of people that lean on that music just to be like their background music. I just feel like it's going to be one of those things that really hurts a lot of streamers.
It's really interesting because it almost seems like a bit of a I don't know, a happening or a rapture of streamers. It sounds like I think that might be like sort of the extreme case, but yeah, that's something I've never really thought about is this idea that could be like sort of a legal culling coming around at some point. I don't know if I would agree with you on the in 10 years, because if you think about it, Twitch is almost, it's not the new YouTube, but it is just sort of the evolution of YouTube. And YouTube's existed for 10 years somehow. Now it is a completely different thing, and it is also, YouTube is also extremely oversaturated as well. And that used to be, I would say, if you were look 10 years back, YouTube would be your Twitch, you know.
Right.
If you look at, like, one of my favorite YouTubers is Philip DeFranco, and
Yep.
he talks about he just talks about how much everything's changed. But the one thing he says that I think is consistent with a lot of like what Twitch streamers say that they love about Twitch is just the audience engagement. Now he's old school. He'll go through and read thousands of comments, or he'll pay people to read thousands of comments. Whereas,
And respond to them, yeah.
yeah, and then and engage with that. Whereas now it's a lot easier to engage because we have live video and people throw their comments right up, and you can instantly just say, "Hey, yeah," and reply right back to them. So, which is this interesting frontier. I think it'll still be around in 10 years, but I am interested to see how how everything legal changes. I think I got an email or something a while ago um about just talking about that specifically. Like was it Twitch put something out? I can't remember.
Twitch put out an email recently. So Twitch puts out this email like 2 or 3 times a year that says, "Hey guys, just remember, just as a heads up, you're not supposed to be using copyrighted music on. If for any reason your VOD gets muted, just to let you know, like that has Twitch mutes your VOD to protect themselves." The thing with Article 13, the way I understand it, and I'm not obviously a lawyer, but the way I understand it is that muting VODs would not protect Twitch anymore.
Oh, that's
That's the
interesting.
thing, and this is European. This is European,
Yeah.
but imagine if that gets passed to where Twitch was now responsible for licensed content. Like Twitch would have to take responsibility for that. It would kill Twitch streaming.
I
It
feel
would it
like
would kill it in Europe at least.
I feel like it's coming in some way, shape, or form, just like it came to YouTube. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because YouTube is a lot different. And a lot of the YouTube, like this, at least the people who upload content to YouTube are not happy, and a lot of people who watch content are not happy as well. But there's not much you can do because of legal grounds. I mean, Nintendo
Right.
themselves, the way that Nintendo handles YouTube videos is just it's atrocious. And if they ever have the ability to, they will definitely do the same thing to Twitch.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, think about that. Think about that for a second. What happens to Twitch? I mean, YouTube too, but YouTube's got a lot more content than video games. Twitch is video games. That's what Twitch does.
Yeah.
What happens if at some point video games decide they want licensing? Because technically we're playing licensed products. Video games are the same way. Like they have rights to their product. What happens if at some point they say, "Hey, look, you're gonna have to have a license to play our video game online or on Twitch."
It's going to be an
Ah,
interesting battleground. Luckily, I mean
yeah.
the good thing is like and I make this argument, but at the same time, Google owns YouTube, and they're like they don't seem to have the ability to hold up Dukes as well. But I feel like Amazon, being one of the richest companies out there, might be able to, like, knowing that Twitch is what it is, might be able to hold their ground a little bit more, at least lawyer wise. Because I mean, a lot of times like legality is just lawyer chicken, like who can play or who can pay the longest before you're out of money. So I mean, it may be possible that Amazon can kind of hold up their dukes. Let's hope. I don't know though, because like YouTube. So to go back, I feel like Twitch is no longer just. It is mainly known for video games, but it's evolving outside of that, especially expanding their IRL streams. So now you can do cooking, you can do uh, you could do just chatting. There's a whole podcasting section which blows me away, or talk shows. But like anything slightly artistic, drawing, painting, all that is going to start growing and stuff. So then it just becomes basically live YouTube, which YouTube has, but it's not as well known for or not as well sought out, I don't think. So it's interesting. I still think that like Twitch will survive, but I think there will be a lot of Twitch streamers that won't.
Right.
Um,
And I kind of agree when I say Twitch won't be around in 10 years. I This version of Twitch that we're all like there's a lot of people prospering in a very, very large fashion right now on how Twitch is right now. I mean, Ninja is one of them, but
oh
Ninja,
yeah,
Tim the Tatman, like all of them. but they know, like, there's something inside of them, like what Ninja's doing right now, reaching out into the mainstream. He's doing great stuff for Twitch, but he's also you have to know he's doing that to protect himself from the eventual downfall of him not being able to be, on top of the boards with Fortnite anymore. So
I mean, it is.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think what like the thing that like, and going back to talking about Philip DeFranco, the one thing that he always said was, or he always says, is put your eggs in several baskets, so that way
Yes.
you're not left out. Because I mean, he even feels like YouTube will die at some point. I think it's shocking that it still exists 10 years later. I think at least he's shocked, but it's about putting don't put all your eggs in one basket. And it's interesting because I had this conversation with a friend the other day. He said, "Why do you podcast on Twitch?" And I'm like, "Because one, because there's an audience. I mean, I'm talking to you guys. You guys get to see my face, which is something that never really would happen. But like, it's about putting your eggs in different baskets rather than dying out. Because if Twitch does like disappear tomorrow, I still have iTunes Play, I still have Facebook, I still have YouTube, I still have Twitter, and hopefully tomorroow's not the day. I don't think it
No,
will
no,
be,
yeah.
but you know, it is just, and it's just this interesting frontier. Like when I started. Like I started 3 years ago, and it was just this thing. Like someone told me, like, "Hey, yeah, I watched something on Twitch," and I was like, "What?" Like Twitch, and I'm like, "What's a Twitch?" And they showed me, and I was like, "Holy crap!" And I jumped in head first, and it's just interesting to see how everything's changed and how scarce resources were then, but how abundant they are now. Like as many people as jumping in, but there's also so many things like Streamlabs OBS is insane in compared to just your standard OBS. Even if you just want to sit down and do the design work, it's fascinating to see. So
Mhm.
we got about 8 minutes. I like this tangent. It was really fun. Um, I we should tackle the last thing, and you've given so much great advice already. But is there any other advice that you would have for up and coming Twitch streamers, people who, whether or not they want to be the next big Fortnite streamer or someone who just wants to kick back and chat with friends and stuff? What advice would you have from your experience for them?
I would say these things. The first time you start your stream up, turn off your viewer count. Your viewer count will do nothing for you live, but depress you. You're never gonna smile at your viewer count. It just that's if you're anything like me, you're always looking for a bigger number. You can go back and look at your stats after the stream. There are a ton of sites, Sully Gnome, all kinds of different like sites you can go look at for streaming. That's post. Worry about that afterwards. Set a schedule if you can. It does not have to be 7 days a week like I do. 2 to 3 days a week, 1 day a week, 2 days a week, whatever it is, make sure people know where you are and when to find you. Make yourself like May sweeps. Like personally for me, I know that Arrow is every Monday night. I know that every Friday night when I'm watching. Like I know the TV shows and when like 10 o'clock, American Horror Story on Wednesdays when it's running. Like I know those things. Make effort yourself to be that. Like I when people think about Madden streams on they know 10 a.m. I'm streaming Madden. They know it. Like my Discord says it. Hey, when's Madden? Like if I'm 5 minutes late on a Sunday, my Discord is like, hey, when's Madden? Are you okay? Is everything good? So like make yourself desirable in time and space. Always talk. Don't get quiet. Even if there's nobody in your chat room to talk to yourself. Talk your way through whatever video game you're playing. Um, talk about what's going on that day. Talk about your own life, but continuously talk and do not get discouraged that nobody talks back. Nobody is going to talk back to you at the beginning. It just doesn't happen. And the more you can talk without somebody talking back, the more entertaining you will be in the long run, and the better you will be when someone is there to talk back, because eventually somebody will come in that chat room, they will say hi to you, and you'll be like, oh, I'm already talking. It's real easy. If you sat there for a half hour quiet and someone says hi to you, you literally go and you go, oh, hi, what's going on, dude? And that immediately lost connection. I don't, it's cute. It's cute that you stumbled over your words, but for the most part, I'm looking at you going, oh, okay, this is weird. Um, the 2500 to 3500 bitrate thing for anyone that's not a partner or doesn't have normal transcodes. You can Google Twitch transcodes. What they are is allow you to go from whatever your highest setting is, allows people to buffer at different levels, so that way they won't lag on the stream. If you are an affiliate or a regular Twitch streamer, 2500 bitrate to 3500 bitrate. Stay inside those lines. Stay at 720. It's not going to matter. You are the star of the show, not your game. Network constantly. Go into other streams of the games you play. Try to focus on one or two games. This is going to sound crazy considering I play so many, but try to focus on one or two games when you stream and then network in those channels. Don't go into Ninja's channel and be like, hey guys, go into some of those other streams where like there's a good chat going on and join the chat. I stream Dead by Daylight. I go into Dead by Daylight streamers all the time and have really fun talks. Don't advertise yourself. Just join the community. The community starts to know you by name. They're going to start to check you out when you stream. There you go. You get more viewers just like that. Last but not least, do not go into Twitch streaming for money. If you go into Twitch streaming for money, you're there for the wrong reason, and you're at the wrong time for the wrong reason, which is the worst things you could do because you're going to get discouraged and quit. Understand that to become a successful Twitch streamer, you are going to be around for at least a year before you see anything major from it. And you may not see anything major in a year. There are people that have streamed as long as I have that aren't partners. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. Find your niche, stick to it, continue to network in those communities. Get on Twitter if you don't have one. If you don't like Twitter, get on Instagram. Instagram is the largest growing platform right now. It provides picture and video. It connects with so many more people than Twitter. So all of that, and for the love of God, have fun when you're doing it. If you're not having fun streaming, don't stream. Like, flat out. People can tell when you're not having fun. People know when I'm not having fun on stream. And I push myself through it when I shouldn't. Just have fun when you're streaming or don't do it because you will fail if you're not having
fun. Okay. That's a lot of really good advice. Thank you so much. Mills, I just want to say thank you so much for coming in and just kind of chatting with us, letting us get to know you a little bit and giving us a lot of really good advice. Mills's community, guys, thank you so much for coming and just kind of seeing this. I hope you'll want to kind of come back and see other streamers and learn about them as well. We do this every Monday. If not, we actually do sort of like a rerun, so then people can kind of see again like some of the other streamers that we haven't been able to drop in. I just want to give a huge thank you to Tribe Warpath, BC Gaming Shelf, KJ BBN25, Eva Lynn, and is it CB Allenge Gaming? I'm sorry if I'm butchering that. I do apologize, but I want to give a shout out for them for following. Thank you, Big Stupid 21 for the bits and stuff. Guys, I hope you're doing great. Mills, is there anything else that you want to say to everybody before we kind of cap things off?
Honestly, try to do what I do in this case, and I hate saying do what I do, but like every time you go somewhere, just try to leave it a little better. This world needs more of that. There's an old Coke commercial that's like one of those, if you do a good deed, it passes down even if you don't know it. It's true. It really is true. When you do something good for somebody, it allows them to do something good for somebody else in their own head, and it brightens their day. Do something nice for somebody in the next 24 hours and watch what happens.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. So guys, just a real quick follow-up. If you guys want to see more interviews or you want to catch our nerdy podcasts once a week. Definitely hit that follow button. If you want to help support the community, you can always feel free to hit subscribe. If not, that's cool. We're so thankful for you guys to even just kind of follow and watch along. If you guys want to watch these videos, like if you haven't caught the whole thing or you're not able to catch the podcast right away live, you can always go over to youtube.com and hit subscribe. We've got a link in the description down below, or there's buttons down below if you're watching us live, which thank you so much for any of you guys who are watching live. You can also just say you're not able to, sit down and watch us. You can always, you got a nice long car ride, you got to mow the lawn, you want to listen to a good podcast. You can download us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, iHeartRadio, and CastBox if that's your speed. You can always download us, put a little nerdy into your pocket. So again, we got links in the description down below. We've got the buttons down below. We're on all devices. So do us a favor, hit follow, hit like. You can follow us on Twitter, and you can follow us on facebook.com/justanothernerdypodcast. Christopher Goodrich. Don't forget our Discord. We also have a Discord. Link in the description down below, button down below. We do have, it needs a little love in there, guys. We need you guys to jump in and say hi. We've just started it. We just started growing. Go say hi to Shakiru. He's kind of our dungeon master in there. So feel free to jump in, help the community grow. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day. We're going to see you next time. We're going to be lining up more streamers. Also, do us a favor and drop a comment and let us know if there are any streamers you want us to cover. So thank you so much. Bye.